So growing up with my best mate, Jill. Yes, Jill is my younger brother, and I've always looked up to him. But hand on heart, or hand on a champagne bottle with a hammer, it's the truth. Jill, you are my hero. Jill, you've always been the strongest of the lot. You could climb higher than anyone in a tree. You could build the best Lego creations entirely from scratch, and you've always had that creative spark, especially when it came up to dressing as your heroes. And it wasn't your usual backyard footy heroes. It wasn't the great, late Shane Keith Warne. No, in Jill's world, it was superheroes, the real kind, the capes, the masks, the powers. And Jill, what you didn't realise is that back then, when you were dressing up as your heroes over the last 28 years, you have been my hero. And you're someone who could always turn a wrong into a right, and someone I could always count on to save the day. So now, over the years, Jill has fought all sorts of crimes, many of which were probably either caused by me or occasionally, probably never, by himself. But these battles that Jill he's faced along the years have built him into this strong, resilient man sitting here today, and now he sits here with the beautiful Molly by his side. So let me take you back around 4.5 to 5 years ago. And it was after a night out, and Jill and I were standing at the front of Mum and Dad's place in Kenmore, and we've got we had this nice wooden fence. And Jill, he looks at me and he goes, I'm going to put my cape on and I'm going to fight crime. I'm going to fight crime for the community, and tonight the enemy is the fence. Now, this fence was admittedly falling apart. It wasn't up to Jill's high standards of craftsmanship. And he looked at me with that classic sparkle in his eye and he said, watch this. And with all the grace of Superman, he held up his fist mid-flight and he launched himself headfirst into the fence and he split it clean down the middle. It was quite impressive. And I said, Jill, what did the fence do to you? And Jill says to me, he goes, mate, this fence has just been doing my head in for months. It's not straight, the wood's rotten, and we need to rid Kenmore of this beast. In fact, Doogie, I actually know the exact piece of wood we can use because I was at Bunnings yesterday, so it's no problem. And so the next morning, Mum and Dad found a handwritten note that simply said, Mum, Dad, sorry about the fence, it needed to go, love, Jill. So after single-handedly ridding Kenmore of its most rotten villain, Jill then turned to me, calm as ever, and said, promise me that we'll be each other's best men when we get married. And a little taken back and a little at awe, because Jill was single, I said, of course, you have my word. And then just a few weeks later, Jill met Molly. Molly, you have the cheekiest smile, and before you met Jill, your world was filled with a different kind of magic, the different world of fantasies, and I knew right then that Jill had met his match, another superhero in disguise. And since then, I've watched my hero navigate life through the States, through Armidale, through the villains of Kenmore, and beyond, and he's always fighting the good fight. But now, I see he's found his greatest adventure yet, a life with you, Molly. Jill is the kind of man who loves to build things. Over the years, he's built bows and arrows, and I mean, for the 10,000th time, Lego, computers, friendships with that bozo group of blokes over there who've been yelling all night, and now the biggest and most beautiful thing I've seen him build is his love for you, Molly. It's not hard, Molly, how to see that you make Jill feel, how you bring out his truest self. Every day he spends with you, he comes alive. You are his person. And I know without a doubt that he will build anything for you now and forever and always. And although Beth and I are off in a galaxy far, far away, we know we've got our very own superheroes to call on when we need them. So together, you bring out the best in each other. You are each other's superheroes, partners in crime. And now I have not just one, but two heroes to look up to in my life. Jill, with his endless energy, curiosity, and ability to build or fix just about anything. And Molly, with your warmth, your wit, your magical ability to bring calm to the chaos. You're perfect together. So together you're equal parts, laughter and love, strength and softness, weird and wonderful. You don't just support each other, you elevate each other. And when you find someone who sees you, who knows you, who accepts you and loves you because of who you are, well, that's not just rare, that's love. So tonight, we don't just celebrate a wedding, we celebrate the perfect partnership of two weird, wonderful, fiercely loved people who are now officially on the same team forever. So to Jill and Molly, your love is strong, your friendship is real, and your story is only just beginning. So here's to a life of building, adventuring, laughing, and always, always being each other's greatest hero. I love you both.